Hello, my name's Mary.
My name's Luke.
And you're listening to the Totally Schway podcast. A podcast about whatever the hell I want it to be about. And today, I want to continue talking about Caped Crusader. And this episode, we get the Harley episode.
Yeah, so it's the 5th episode, the 5th of 10.
Yeah, so we're nearly halfway through.
Yeah, we're basically halfway through now.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that?
So, let's just get into it.
Yeah, okay.
In this episode, you open with King Tut.
Yeah, oh my God. I did a little shriek. So I was watching this at like midnight, 1 a.m.
I was asleep, dead to the world.
And just some context for people, I tend to wake up at about 5 a.m. So I was up uncharacteristically late, but I was just awake anyway. So I thought I'll watch this. And when I saw King Tut for the first time, I went, oh my God!
So just quickly, you usually wake up at 5 because I wake you up, but I'm usually awake at 3:45. So what time did you go to bed?
About 3:45.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Well, that's when I went to sleep. But that doesn't matter. Anyway, we're talking about King Tut. Come on, important stuff here. King Tut. So King Tut is a character that was created for the 1960s Adam West show. He's the guy that hypnotized Batman and made him do a sexy dance for him.
Ooh,
he's like, dance for me, Batman. And he's like sitting there going, yeah.
Tell me more.
Take off the cape, yeah.
Oh, God. Don't tell me less. Tell me less.
But King Tut was a history professor that got hit on the head and became delusional, thinking that he was a pharaoh. Mm-hmm. And the way to undo it was to hit him on the head again. So anytime he got hit on the head, he'd be like, I am a pharaoh, and become megalomaniacal, which is kind of funny. But in this case, he has not been hit on the head. Well, that might have been involved in his brainwashing, but he was a billionaire that was getting treatment from Dr. Harleen Quinn, and he'd been talking about all the awful things he'd been doing in his business to get it off his chest. And she essentially kidnapped him, tortured him and brainwashed him into giving away all of his money, thinking that he was a pharaoh as well. And then the plan was that he would jump off of a building to end his own life.
Huh?
And that was Harley Quinn's punishment for all the awful things that he had done. So yeah, right off the bat, pun intended, things are pretty dark. We get a good look at Arkham Asylum in this episode as well, and it's a very bright and clean facility.
I know, it's different.
It looks nice, actually, doesn't it?
I'm like, when I was in a hospital when I was younger, I was like, I wish I would have been in that one. Please.
Yeah, but
we rich.
Yeah, and Barbara Gordon gets involved with his case, so she's his lawyer. And she mentions that she wants to get him assessed by someone she trusts, Dr. Harleen Quinzel. And he goes, Harley Quinn? The name sounds so good on my mouth. And then goes into a rage as he breaks out of his cell and runs up to the roof of the building and tries to jump off. But, Barbara's able to capture him.
Good old Barbs.
Yeah, and she asked who made him do this, and he starts going, ha, ha, ha.
Do you know who else Barbs trusts and loves?
Commissioner Gordon.
Renee Montoya.
Yeah, she trusts her. Yeah.
Yeah. You know who else is in this episode?
Harvey Bullock.
Renee Montoya.
Yeah, I know.
Renee Montoya is kind of a big part of this. In a way, not really as in terms of story, but the character needs to be there. Yeah,
and there's a bit of subplot there as well with Harleen Quinzel asks Montoya out on a date.
On a date!
Oh, I know, and she asks Barbara for advice. And we see that Harleen Quinzel, the doctor, is actually kind of light and bubbly and fun. Whereas when we see Harley Quinn in her jester outfit, in her torture dungeon basement thing,
She dirty.
She talks like this most of the time. She's like, you've been bad. We're going to punish you, and not in a fun, sexy way.
Yeah, it's very monotone.
Yes.
And very not bright and bubbly and
sinister.
Yeah, it's very different to her everyday life.
Yes.
Because she's Harley Quinn. She's not Harley Quinn's Elle.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. And the voice actress did a really great job at that. And not making it kind of like a caricature voice for Harley Quinn.
Yeah, character voice.
Yeah, no, like a character of the character.
A
like,
caricature.
Yeah. There goes my Oklahoman accent again. I love that because it is still the same character. It's a different personality of the character. But what happens in personalities is we usually have the same voice mechanisms, but we can just change it to go up or down and stuff like that. And they just make it go down like this. And we're talking like this and not like this and da-da-da-da. Or have some sort of different accent or whatever. Because it's the same accent. It's just... we're very low because I'm talking to you because you've been a bad boy.
Even then, you made it sound kind of fun when you were saying that, but Harley Quinn does not. It's
the first time I've ever said that line.
Yeah, I know. Too much info.
But yeah, it's the actress who played Harley. Who is that, by the way? Look on your...
Jamie Chung.
Yeah, very, very, very good.
Yes, she is very good. It's funny that later in the episode when... it's very clear that the clown, or the jester makeup, I should say, is a very key part of her personifying this role. Because later on, when she's leaving, after trapping Batman in the playpen and setting a bomb to blow up the building, she takes the makeup off. She's still got the clothes on, but she's taken the mask off. And they're driving away. And she notices Barbara Gordon's car is parked around the corner. And she goes, oh, God damn it, Barbara's back there. Turn around, we've got to go back.
See, I absolutely stoked that they put that in there because the Harley that I know, like the character of Harley, not just the one Harley, because there's not just one Harley. There's always a little bit of empathy.
Yes, yeah.
It's not completely like through and through 100% there, but it's about the people she cares about. And she does know right from wrong, but she thinks the bad life, the bad guy life, if you will, seems to be more preferable.
Well, she's punishing these wicked people who they may not have broken the law technically, but they are doing awful things. So like one of her clients is always moaning about his family members, and he hates his employees because they're trying to unionize, because he treats them badly.
We love unions in this household.
And I guess it's. I just found it interesting that when she goes back to the playpen with Barbara, she's kind of like halfway between light and bubbly Harley and Harley Quinn, or I should say light and bubbly Harleen and Harley Quinn. She's quite firm with Barbara, saying, "No, we have to go now."
Yeah. So let's talk about the playpen.
Yes, so she's got a whole bunch of businessmen locked up in these cells, and she basically tortures them, not through like cutting them or whipping them or anything like that. One of them, she's got him tied up, and she just has someone tickle his feet for hours.
Oh, and the person looking for the bad light and the Christmas light.
Oh yes, that was a fun one, wasn't it? So there's a whole miles of Christmas lights, and they're not turning on because one of the bulbs is out, and he's got to find that one bulb.
And she says something like, "Oh, you'll find it."
Yeah, there is a bad light. There's always a bad light. And the guy that has been infantilized, so he's dressed like a baby, and he's like throwing a tantrum going, "I don't want to eat my beans. I want pudding." That's how they get the pudding reference in there. And she says, you can have your pudding without eating your beans if you break this other prisoner who she's dressed up as a king. So she kind of...
She plays.
She plays, yes.
She plays the jester.
She does play the jester. And many people mentioned this in my video I did about the Caped Crusader Harley Quinn. And apparently the role of the jester was that they could say whatever they wanted to the king without fear of reparations. So they would often tell them the truth, even if it was in a mocking way. It would always, well, not always, but it could be the truth. And I suppose that's what Harley Quinn is getting at. She is dressed as the jester because she's telling these awful people that they are awful and they deserve this punishment because of the things they've done. And she lists the things that they have done while they're being tortured. And that's kind of how she persuades them to give away their fortunes and then end their own lives.
Yeah. She's nasty.
Yeah, and it's funny that one of the clients of hers is allowing her to use his home for the location of the playpen. And he's driving around. He's basically acting like her butler, but he is a very wealthy man. And he's got no problem with her blowing up his house either, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's very, I don't want to say psychological, but it's like very manipulative.
Well, it's psychological.
Psychologically manipulative, yeah. How about
that? I just find it incredibly insane what she's doing. And she's showing that she's also a person that isn't in the best in the best way, because she's enjoying this in some sort of way. She's enjoying punishing them.
Yeah, she enjoys having power over them.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that this reframes her appearance in the third episode when she's treating Bruce Wayne, and she says to him, you can continue coming and receive treatment from me, because she wants to break him down. She wants to get through that facade to find out what he's doing wrong, so that then she can put him in her playpen. And it's kind of funny that Batman's instincts were right, that she was someone to be avoided.
Yeah.
He was saying because, he's got these deep-rooted psychological issues and he's got a barrier up and he doesn't want that to come down. And he can't possibly have known what she was doing. But he is suspicious of her.
Yeah.
And turns out his suspicions were correct. And I feel so bad for Alfred because he was the one that was really pushing for Bruce to continue having this treatment. He was like, oh, you're making progress, Master Bruce. Maybe you should consider going to see Dr. Quinzel some more. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, we can all have some fun after that. When you become a normal boy.
Master Wayne.
Yeah, Master Bruce.
So I believe the reason why he calls him that is because that's what, like, over here they say, like, Master Billy Bob.
Master Billy Bob.
Yeah.
No one. I don't think anyone is named Billy Bob in the UK.
I
don't want to Google this. I bet there are some.
Billington. Master Billington.
Yeah. So Master is a title for young men that haven't reached adulthood yet, but they're not children anymore, and they might still be young. They might be 8, 9 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
So you might say. So for instance, my uncle used to send me birthday cards when I was a small boy, and it would say, to Master Luke Mears, because that was my title at the time. Obviously, nobody actually called me that, but Alfred still calls him
that's
Master
the point
Bruce.
That I'm trying to make is that
in his eyes, he's always the little boy. Yeah, of course.
She's still trying to help that little boy.
Yeah, it's not like a master servant reference.
That little boy that stormed into his room.
Yeah, well, he just opened the door very creepily,
in a creepy way.
Poked his head and went, "You're going to help me punish them," and then slowly closed the door while maintaining eye contact.
Those blue eyes.
Yes. But yeah, we've talked too much about Alfred, I think.
Let's talk about Barbs and Bats, because is this the second time they've encountered each other?
Yes.
But the first time that, like, they actually speak in this one, don't they?
I believe so, yes. I believe this is the first time they speak, because he'd helped her in the first episode when she was getting chased by the Penguin's henchmen, and
she saw him in the car, didn't he?
Batman ran them off the road with his car and then nodded at them from the car.
He's real.
Yeah. And this time he turns up at her office, doesn't he? And they compare notes.
And again, the Gordons, best people.
Yeah.
I mean, other than Alfred. No, I'm going to say the Gordons are better than Alfred. Because Alfred's
keeping secrets.
Yeah, he's keeping secrets. I don't know what they are, but he's keeping secrets.
Yeah, but it just goes to show that Barbara Gordon is a very decent and fair person. I know we say decent a lot when we talk about the Gordons, but she is.
True.
So when she's, I'd mentioned earlier that she had been treating the guy that thought he was King Tut. And she noted the reaction he had, like how his mind snapped when he mentioned Harleen Quinzel. So she goes to talk to Harleen and asks about this patient. And she's like, no, don't think so. Name sounds familiar, but no, I've never treated him. Then Batman looks through the appointment books and finds his name in there. And then he shares that with Barbara Gordon. And yeah, so she realizes, yes, my friend is lying to me.
Yeah. I hope in season 2 there's more Barbs and Bats.
There's bound to be, yes.
I mean, I'm not saying Barbs has to become Batgirl.
No, she won't. I'm certain of it.
But I do hope that it's more Barbara focused.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Because you know what? You don't gotta be Batgirl. You don't have to have the costume to show that you're a kick-ass lady.
Yes, yeah. Speaking of kick-ass ladies, why don't we talk about the little romance between Montoya and Harleen Quinzel?
Okay, here's the thing. We didn't need this romance. We didn't know we were going to get it.
Oh, we did.
Well, I'm talking for me.
Oh, you
I'm
didn't
speaking
know.
for myself.
So Bruce Timm had said that Renee Montoya and Harley Quinn were girlfriends. And, well, unless he meant, like, girlfriends in the friendly sense, because Harley Quinn said that she had met Renee Montoya before and they had kept in touch, I think, something like that.
But what I'm saying is, love it.
Yeah.
Needed it. And the reason I'm saying this is because these two characters are characters that I met through the TV show.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I met Harley through the TV show because, you know, Harley fan since 92. But it was really nice to see two characters that weren't really that involved with each other in, you know, what we originally saw them in. And now you get these completely different storylines, which I love, and then you bring these two characters together, and I just feel like it was chemistry. And the voice acting with these, this is one of the reasons I get really excited to talk about these two. The two actresses who played these characters, I love them so much. They had chemistry, and it's really hard to hear that sometimes, but I heard it. And I felt, you know, a connection between these two characters because of those voice actresses. And I just get really excited because I haven't been this excited about an animated show and like the chemistry, and not just the romantic chemistry. I'm talking about like Justice League. That's how long it's been since I felt like that sort of good voice acting chemistry going on. There's been great voice acting, but this is on another level to me.
Yeah.
And that's my TED Talk.
Well, one of the things that's worth noting is I'm sure there's going to be someone somewhere going, 2 girls kissing in the 1940s? It's never happened. And listen. So first of all, I know what you're going to say, Mary. Let me just say this first thing. This show is not set in the 1940s. Yeah. They never say what the date is. There's no reference to the prevailing moralities of the time. There's no references to, war is coming in Europe or anything like that. It is a world that is inspired by the aesthetic of the 1940s. Okay?
Yeah.
That's it. Now, as for the point about there being no public lesbians in the 1940s, Mary, I'm sure you've got some you can list.
Okay. I'm not going to say the names, but I'm going to say this right now. First off, you know what? We'll say a name. Marlene Dietrich. Greta Garbo.
Yep.
These people might not have been out, as in like to, you know, us normal folk. But
speak for yourself.
But if you look at them, even if it turns out that they weren't queer, they were very open about having... It's okay to go out and have dinner with a lady. It's okay to kiss a lady on the cheek. It's okay to dress a certain way. It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. That's why a lot of people believe that those two actresses were queer, because they were so open about it. And the rumors, they might not have liked, but guess what? It made them a hell of a lot more popular, and they knew that. So don't y'all dare, any of y'all dare, say that there were not queer people in those times, or there weren't open ones, because all you have to do is a quick Google search. And believe me, honey bunnies, my lovely honey bunches of oats, there are far more queer couples from the 1940s than you realize. So shut up.
Yeah.
Anyways, I make a joke about like, ooh, two girls kissing, but I like that because I know it will get, you know, a laugh because it's a lovely little relationship. And I say little because we don't get a lot of it. It's not a little relationship.
It's a brief one.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of it, but it's a really important relationship.
I felt very sorry for Renee Montoya because,
yeah.
Okay, so she's having dinner with Harleen, and Harleen gets a phone call, and they have to bring the phone over to her, and it's her butler guy saying, "Oh, Batman's here." So she's like, "God damn it, I've got to go. It's a patient needs help." Yes, I guess technically he is indirectly her patient after she did that profile on him for the police. And she says, "Meet me at such and such a club afterwards, and I'll be there as soon as I can." And poor Renee, she waits there for hours and hours and hours. And she gets a phone call at the phone booth, and it's Harleen saying, "I've got to skip town, but perhaps we can pick this up when I come back."
Yeah.
And it seems like it was a yes, but it was kind of a forlorn yes. Now, the reason Dr. Quinzel has got to skip town is...
she's bad.
Yeah, she got caught out by Batman and Barbara Gordon.
She got caught out by the Dream Team.
Yeah, and Barbara Gordon had tried to free Batman from the enclosure that he was being kept in. So she'd been like smacking at this glass door.
That was a beautiful scene.
Couldn't break through. But Harleen comes back. There's like 30 seconds left on the bomb timer, and she's like, "All right, fine. We'll let Batman out. Let's get out of here." She's willing to let Batman go to save Barbara. Unfortunately, all the smacking that Barbara had been doing caused the door to kind of warp, and they can't open it. And they all get caught in the collapsing building.
In the boom.
Yeah. And it looks like Batman's fallen to his death. But, you know, we all know
there's
not
5
the
more
case.
episodes.
Well, yeah, there's 5 more episodes. And he's got a grapple gun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he catches Barbara. Barbara had a hold of Harleen. Or Harley at this point, I should say.
Harley, yeah.
And Harley's just like, "Let me go. Just let me go. I'm not going to prison, and I am not going to Arkham." Which is a very telling remark, her saying she doesn't want to go to Arkham because she knows that she is not well.
Yeah.
And she falls into the ocean, and you're supposed to think, "Oh no, she's dead," but of course she's not.
Dead. That's Harley Quinn.
Although falling hundreds of feet into the ocean is likened to falling hundreds of feet onto concrete, but she survived because she calls Renee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we think she survived because she called Renee, but she might have called Renee before, but
Well,
I think she survived.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain she survived. It's given the order of events in the episode, I don't think that was a flashback.
Yeah. So have we talked about Harl's extreme reaction to all of this? I think we have, but do you want to talk about it a little bit more in depth?
Well, so her reaction to all of this injustice is to put on this jester outfit and psychologically injure these cruel people. And it must be difficult having all of these rich clients come in and spill their guts about all the awful things they're doing and knowing that there's nothing you can do about it. So obviously there's doctor-patient confidentiality. Yeah. There's also the fact that what they're doing is technically not illegal because they're wealthy and they can get away with what they want. Even if they did end up facing criminal charges, Harvey Dent would probably make a deal with them and get them a lighter punishment. So I think Harleen felt that the only thing she could do was take matters into her own hands and really punish these people. Making them kill themselves is a bit harsh. Understatement, perhaps.
Our harsh Harley.
Yes. I was
Our
going to say
clown
harshly Quinn.
Well, she's not our clown princess in this. She is our jeering jester.
Yes, that's right. So obviously she's completely unconnected to the Joker. And that was a very deliberate, intentional thing.
Oh, I love the fact that the Joker hasn't made an appearance in this because it gives the other characters room to grow. And
Yes.
I think as much as I love the Joker character, I don't love the Joker because it's horrible. If they were a human being, they would be a horrible human being. But, with this, you get, the episodic thing where you get to meet almost every episode a different villain each time, and I think you get more of their story, and you're like, oh, they could come back.
Yeah.
Maybe. But what about the Joker? What about the Joker? What about the Joker? I'm like, I don't have to think about that.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I guess for some people his presence will loom, or his lack of presence, I should say, will loom over any Harley Quinn story. But they deliberately didn't include him to give Harley Quinn the spotlight. And as you said, other villains will step up. Most of the villains are only in one episode, as you said. Two-Face is in a couple. Ironically, perhaps.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know what season 2 is going to be like. I hope they introduce the Joker, but not on a as mega of a level as he has been in the past, because I do think the likes of Two-Face and Harley, and hopefully Mr. Freeze makes an appearance. I just wish that they would make them more like the Joker. You know what I mean?
Prominent.
Like more mega, more prominent, more psychotic.
Yeah, I mean, Harvey Dent is the prominent,
Yeah.
air quote, villain in this season. Absolutely, completely.
Well, along with BNF.
They're just henchmen, though, at the end of the day. They're just doing what gangsters like the Penguin and Rupert Thorne want them to do.
Yeah, they don't think that they're gangsters, but they sure are.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, actually, they
Gangster
are.
gonna gangster.
They're the henchmen of the gangsters. They're not even proper gangsters.
Henchman gonna hench.
Yeah, exactly. They are... What's the word I'm looking for?
Awful.
Cronies. Cronies, yeah.
Yeah, awful cronies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't actually seen the last episode, so I don't know what's in that one. I've only seen the next 4 episodes.
Oh, we're going to have to watch the last episode before the next one. Then.
But like I said, I hope they bring back more of those characters that I mentioned earlier in season 2. Because there is a season 2, isn't there?
Yeah, it's being worked on at the moment. Scripts are being turned in. Artists are working on it.
Oh, Amazon. I know I talk to Warner Brothers a lot, but hear me out. I could do 2 different voices. And they're both Mary voices. There's this one, and then there's... How do I do my real accent? I like baked beans, and I'm from Oklahoma, and sometimes I talk like this when I'm really tired. But normally I speak like this because I hide my accent. So yeah, you could choose between those 2. I'm not fussy, and I'm pretty cheap.
Don't talk so badly about yourself.
What did Dolly Parton say? She said it takes a lot of money to look this cheap.
Yeah.
But that's not me. It doesn't take a lot of money to make me look this cheap.
I was going to say the opposite is true with you.
Oh, that's nice of you. I'll pay you later.
I think it is nice.
What are you talking about?
It costs nothing to look that nice.
Oh, shucks.
That's the opposite, isn't
I'll
it?
give you the 20 later for saying that.
No, you've already given me loads of stuff. Like I'm just looking at a Batman Beyond Batmobile model, and you bought a die-cast beat-ass Batmobile just randomly today. And like, here you go. And I'm like, yeah.
But yeah, the character development for some of the like mid-range characters has been nice.
Yes, yeah. Get the spotlight on some characters that don't usually get a chance to shine, and then those that do, like Batman and Harley Quinn, are given we're looking at them from a different perspective. Doesn't mean they're massively different, but it's a different angle.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing about shows like this, is trying out different things to see what works. And who knows, maybe there will be some elements of this that move over to the comics or other adaptations, or, you know, it could stick. Probably won't, but you never know, it might. And we should never, ever fault people for being willing to experiment and try new things, and just...
Except for me when it comes to certain foods. I will not try anything with blueberries in it.
Fair enough.
I'm not kidding.
I feel similarly about cucumber.
I'm allergic to cucumber.
All right, so we've gone on a what's the word? A tangent there. We've just wandered down the garden path.
Yeah. So the next episode we are going to talk about is episode 6.
And who is the villain in this episode?
A ghost. And not a grey one.
No, but he is allegedly a gentleman. Allegedly.
We love gentlemen in this household.
Yeah, but not gentlemen's like him.
Oh.
But we'll talk more about that in the next episode.
Yeah.
Which is available now.
And it'll probably autoplay. And I'm sorry I
hopefully.
interrupted.
That's fine. I was going to say the same thing. It'll probably autoplay, and if not, just click on Mary's channel right there, and then you'll see it. It's clearly labelled. They're all there.
All right. I love you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.